Brother
did go like,
Shaka,
oh, yeah.
let me say this before I go. You are
Yeah.
one of the most dangerous brothers in our community. Why? Because he has been listening for a long time. And when you say something, he's going to say, wait, but you said this on this day. Here's the video.
And he's going to have the
He is one of
documentation.
the most dangerous brothers in our community. And so I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that some audience now knows about you. He was talking to me about Shaka, 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 Shaka. I thought he was talking about Shaka for a second. Because love him some Shaka Ma'at forever. So I'm just honored that now we have a more global. I know kind of making a joke, but he was also making a comment. The reality is that this internet is going to allow Africans all over the world to connect on our interest, and that is powerful. That is powerful.
Yes.
I'm honored to be on. I promise I will communicate with you. I'm watching your shows ardently, Shaka. So whenever you would like me to come and chat with you privately or publicly, please let me know.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut, E.T. Ren-E Shaka Ndugu Kemet. I hope there's no denial. You are happy like the Nile. The title of this live stream is Bible Plagiarism of African Text. Let me check the sound quality. Sounds good on my end. I forgot to go live on Twitter. TikTok, sorry. Shouldn't take me long. It's gonna allow people a little bit of time to join us, but it will most likely not be a long live stream. So well, never mind. I ain't gonna go live on TikTok. It's okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. Just one moment, because I'm going to share the screen from my other computer. Just one page, because I did not refresh the page, but you won't understand. You won't understand. It's okay. Just give me a few seconds. As a matter of fact, I can share it now. I'm gonna share it now. There it is. So there is this article. I'm going to share the link. It's on my website, and it is called Biblical Parallels with texts from ancient Egypt. You have the link in the chat right there. This is the page that I have modified just earlier. This is just before the modification. I basically did not refresh that page. So you can see that here I'm dealing with the tale of the two brothers. Now, what I had quoted there is this book. I got the ebook version, or Kindle version to be precise. So this book is called Old Testament Parallels, Laws and Stories from the Ancient Near East. It's the fully revised and expanded 4th edition by Victor H. Matthews and Don C. Benjamin, and it is page 120. So here, the tale of two brothers was compared with the Genesis, the biblical book of Genesis, chapter 37, verses 7 until 12. Okay, so it's long, it's not that long. You see, all of it, basically nearly all of it, there it is. That's what you have. I can unshare now, or as a matter of fact, I can refresh the page. And now you can see that I'm quoting this book, Judgment of the Pharaoh by Joyce Tilsley, PhD. She's a professor of Egyptology. And it is pages 158 till 159. For the record, now it's much longer, you can see. And this time it's the book of Genesis, chapter 39, verses 1 until 18. For the record, I also added a citation from the book Ancient Egyptian Literature, Volume 2, The New Kingdom, page 203. And this is Miriam Lichdem, who wrote, the episode of Bata and his brother's wife has a remarkable similarity with the tale of Joseph and Potiphar's wife, a similarity that has often been commented on. Okay? So now we can have a look. So I am quoted Joyce Tilsley dealing with this tale of the two brothers, and the reference that she gives is the book that I had just read about earlier. Anubis and Bata were two brothers. Anubis, the elder, had a house and a wife. His younger brother lived with him and was treated as a son. Bata worked for his brother, tending the cattle, plowing the fields and harvesting the grain. He was a fine, vigorous young man. One day the brothers were in the field. Anubis asked his brother to return to the house to collect some seed. Bata went and found his brother's wife dressing her hair. The wife watched the strong young man hoist the grain onto his shoulders and was impressed with his strength. She desired him and spoke, "Come, let us spend an hour together, and afterwards I will make you some new clothes." Bata was shocked by this proposal. "Look, I regard you as a mother and my brother as a father. What a terrible thing you have said. Do not mention this again, and I will tell no one what has happened." Bata then picked up his burden and returned to the field. The woman, left alone in the house, grew frightened, imagining that Bata would tell his brother what had happened. She decided to tell her side of the story first. Taking her cosmetics, she made herself up to look as if she had been beaten. Then she lay down, pretending to be sick. When her husband returned, she did not get up to greet him, and she did not light up the lamp. The house was in darkness, and peering through the gloom, Anubis found his wife vomiting. When Anubis questioned her, she accused Bata of attempted seduction. Your brother said, "Come, let us sleep together for an hour," but I would not listen to him, and he beat me so that I will not tell you. And then we can compare with the tale of Genesis. Now, this time I'm going to read from my other PC. So those are all the similarities that we have. I've given the link to the article. So we going to Papa's Dorbiane, here the tale of two brothers. So the biblical passage is here. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer, hold on, let me check. Yeah, it is sharing well. So an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not all he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, "Lie with me." But he refused, and said unto his master's wife, "Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. There is none greater in this house than I, neither had he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there with him. And she caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." And he left his garment in her hand and fled, and got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and he was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house, and spake unto them, saying, "See, he hath brought in a Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled, and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. Now, what's interesting is that here we have the term Lord for the husband of the lady, not for God. But anyway, so what we're going to do, here's a link to the British Museum website. And this is the papyrus that we dealt with. So just for the record, you have the museum number here. But what's interesting, 19th dynasty, production date circa 1215 BCE. Okay? It's more. There it is. So you all know where I got that date from. Go back up. You see that? Papyrus d'Orbine, Tale of the Two Brothers, circa 1215 BCE. Okay? Now we can compare the interesting parts of the two tales, the two stories. So in black, this is the African text, and in red, this is the biblical text. So on the African text, we are told Anubis and Bata were two brothers. Anubis the elder had a house and a wife. In the Bible, it says, and the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. In the African text, it says his younger brother lived with him and was treated as a son. In the biblical text, it says, and Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had, he put into his hands. In the African text, it says, Bata worked for his brother, tending the cattle, plowing the fields, and harvesting the grain. He was a fine, vigorous young man. The biblical text says, and Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. The African text says, Anubis asked, let me make sure that he's sharing well, it does. Anubis asked his brother to return to the house to collect some seed. Bata went and found his brother's wife dressed in her hair. The wife watched the strong young man hoist the grain onto his shoulders and was impressed with his strength. She desired him and spoke, come, let us spend an hour together. The biblical text says, and it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. The African text says, Bata was shocked by this proposal. Look, I regard you as a mother and my brother as a father. What a terrible thing you have said. Do not mention this again, and I will tell no one what has happened. The biblical text says, but he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master worth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? And the last part tell us on the African text, Bata then picked up his burden and returned to the field. The woman left alone in the house grew frightened, imagining that Bata would tell his brother what had happened. She decided to tell her side of the story first. Taking her cosmetics, she made herself up to look as if she had been beaten. Then she lay down, pretending to be sick. When her husband returned, she did not get up to greet him, and she did not light the lamp. The house was in darkness, and peering through the gloom, Anubis found his wife vomiting. When Anubis questioned her, she accused Bata of attempted seduction. Your brother said, come, let us sleep together for an hour. But I would not listen to him, and he beat me so that I would not tell you. And the biblical text says, and she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. And it came to pass when she saw that he had left his garment in her in her hand, and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, see, he hath brought in a Hebrew unto us to mock us. And he came unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. So this is a clear case of plagiarism. Hold on. Remember one thing. Now, once again, there are many other cases of plagiarism. You have the link in the chat. It's here once again. So in your own time, Book of Exodus, Book of Genesis, Luke, Matthew, Proverbs, Psalms, right? But remember this one. Look at this video. Have it in the chat. That was a year ago. Well, over a year ago, actually. December 15, 2022. The title is Shalom to my Kemetic Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters. We are family. On the screen, we can see the seal of a biblical king found in a trash heap in Jerusalem. In that seal of King Hezekiah, we can see the Ankh. Actually, we can see two Ankhs. The one on the left is a bit damaged. We see part of it, but on the right, we can see it fully. And there's also the wing disc. So King Hezekiah had two Ankhs and a wing disc on his seal. Also, another article copy and paste. There it is. Meduneta, origin of the Greek and Latin alphabet. You have the link in the chat. And what do we see? This table. How we went from the Medu-Neter to the Proto-Sinaitic to the Phoenician to the early Greek and Latin. So this text that they call a holy book, we have several texts, several African texts that were plagiarized and ended up in that holy book. A king of this area, Canaan, had two Ankhs and a wing disc on his seal, and even their script derives from the Medu-Neter. That's quite a lot. This is scholarship. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I am allowed to buy the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you do not think right, you will not act right. If you know better, you will do better. Do a Necheru? Hotep.
I appreciate the class. The Medu-Neter class is awesome. Thank you very much. You're a heck of a teacher, man. When we're in class, man, it's a lot of fun, and you have a lot of information to share, and you teach very, very well. And that's coming from someone who hadn't been in school for years, and taking for what you do, man, and for that time that we have is amazing. So, and thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Dua Sen, thank you very much. Well,
Yes,
brothers and sisters, if anybody want to take some Medu-Neter classes, I have one of the most affordable fee. It's basically $10 an hour. So you have the email address here. Yes,
get a lot of information for that hour. You really, really do get a lot of information. You get text for each class, man. You get transcripts so you can study in on your own time. Come back with questions, things like that. And just a and if we need to slow it down, we'll slow it down, and they allow me to ask as many questions as I need. And he's a really, really excellent teacher, man. Shout out to you, bro.
Fact that I have a reference, the stuff that you've given me, like the flashcards and everything, that I have, and I keep them, and they're mine. I can go over them whenever. And then to look at the meta nature and to know that even still I can pick out a good bit of them now and get a context of what's being said, even if I don't know some of the glyphs or whatever, that I've come a long way. I never would have thought I would ever learn the meta nature. I never knew I would find out it was named that's what it was called. I would have been going around, semi-informed, semi-ignorant, calling it hieroglyphics still. And then also, people should support if they don't want to take the classes. Maybe they're busier than I am, but I mean, just support it. Like you said, just make donations when they come on, and the whole fact that you've done so much research into like the origins of things.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first meta nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other meta nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the meta nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the meta nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.